First encounter with the boss. Captain Ryan never expected to feel nervous again after years in the Galactic Empire. But standing outside the boss's office, waiting for his first official meeting with her, his heart beat faster than usual. Rumors about the 3-foot-tall leader had spread everywhere. Some called her a genius. Others whispered she was dangerous. He wasn't sure what to believe yet. The door slid open silently, and there she was. Small, but with eyes that burned like stars. Her presence was intense, like a storm about to break. She didn't smile. Instead, she looked straight at Captain Ryan, as if she could see everything inside him. "Captain Ryan," she said in a voice calm but firm, "you are here because you are skilled. But skill alone will not win wars." Her words surprised him. She was not just giving orders, she was challenging him. "What else does it take?" he asked. "Vision," she replied, "and courage to see beyond what is easy." The meeting room was small but filled with holographic maps and data screens. She tapped the table, and the stars above the Empire lit up on the screen. "Our enemies are growing stronger. If we don't act fast, we will lose more than just planets." Captain Ryan watched her closely. For such a small person, she commanded the room like a giant. Her voice never raised, but every word held power. Then she showed a plan that stunned everyone. A risky mission deep into enemy space, where no one dared to go. "This mission," she said, "will change the balance of power." Some officers gasped. The plan was dangerous. Many wanted to refuse. But the boss stood her ground. "Risk is part of power. Without risk, we have nothing." Captain Ryan felt the room's tension rise. Some stared at her with fear, others with anger. But no one could deny her strength. After the meeting, Captain Ryan walked back to his quarters thinking hard. Could a leader so small really be this bold? And what was she hiding behind those sharp eyes? That night, the Empire security cameras caught something strange near the outer borders. A shadow moving fast, too fast for normal ships. The enemy was testing their defenses. The boss was already preparing. She gathered her closest officers and said, "The enemy will try to break us, but we will break them first." Captain Ryan noticed something new. She wasn't just a boss, she was a fighter. She trained late into the night, studying tactics and weapons like a soldier. One day, the boss surprised everyone by joining a training exercise herself. Despite her small size, she moved faster and smarter than many young soldiers. Her every move showed experience and skill. "She's not just leading us," said Lieutenant Maya. "She's teaching us how to fight." But the boss's strength came from more than just skill. Captain Ryan soon discovered her secret. During a mission briefing, a sudden power failure hit the station. Alarms blared, and the lights went out. Chaos spread. In the darkness, the boss's voice was calm. "Everyone stay focused." Then, using a small device, she activated a hidden power source that restored the lights instantly. The device was advanced technology, unknown to most. How did she get this? Captain Ryan wondered aloud. The boss smiled slightly and said, "Always be prepared." This moment changed everything. The officers saw she had more than courage and brain. She had the tools to win. But the enemy was not waiting. Spies inside the Empire sent secret messages, warning their leaders about the boss's technology and plans. Tension grew as the Empire prepared for war. Captain Ryan felt the pressure too. Every decision could mean life or death. Then came a message from the enemy commander full of threats. "Your tiny leader will fall like all before her. Soon, we will crush the Galactic Empire." The boss read the message and said quietly, "Let them come. They do not understand what true power is." Captain Ryan realized something important. The boss's size was not a weakness. It was a surprise. The enemy expected a normal leader, not someone who could think faster, fight smarter, and inspire more courage than any giant. As the sun set over the Empire's capital, the boss stood alone on the balcony, looking at the stars. Her mind raced with plans and dangers. "This empire will rise," she whispered to herself. "And I will make sure of it." And so, the first true test of the 3-foot-tall boss was about to begin. A battle not just for power, but for the future of the entire galaxy. The boss's strange powers. Captain Ryan had seen many leaders in his time, but nothing prepared him for the truth about their new boss. The 3-foot-tall woman was no ordinary leader. There was something mysterious, almost otherworldly, about her powers. It started when the Empire's communication network was suddenly hacked. Enemy forces were trying to steal secret plans. Panic spread quickly through the command center. The boss stayed calm. She closed her eyes for a moment, then placed her small hand on the control panel. Suddenly, the screens flickered back to life, showing the enemy's location. It was as if she could feel the enemy's moves before they happened. "How is she? Doing this?" Captain Ryan whispered to Lieutenant Maya. "It's like she has a sixth sense." The boss didn't explain. She just ordered a strike on the enemy's secret base using the information she had somehow gained. The strike was perfect, swift and precise. After the mission, rumors spread that the boss possessed an ancient power, one lost to the Empire, for centuries. Some whispered she had a connection to the void energy, a force said to give its user incredible speed, strength, and mental abilities. Captain Ryan wanted to believe it was just stories, but then he saw it with his own eyes. During a training exercise, the boss moved so fast that no one could follow her. She disappeared and reappeared behind enemy lines without warning. Her attacks were lightning quick and deadly accurate. "She's like a shadow," one soldier said in awe. More strange events happened. Sometimes the boss seemed to communicate with the ship's computers without speaking. A thought here, a command there, and the machines obeyed instantly. At night, Captain Ryan caught her in the lab, holding a small glowing orb. She looked at it like it was alive. "What is that?" he asked. She looked up, eyes shining. "It's a piece of the void," she said quietly. "It gives me strength, but it is dangerous." Captain Ryan felt a chill. Power like this could change the Empire forever, or destroy it. Then came the worst news. The enemy had found a way to track the boss's powers. Their spies were coming closer, searching for the void energy source. One evening, the alarms blared. Enemy ships had launched a surprise attack on a nearby colony. The Empire's forces scrambled to defend it. The boss took command. "We fight, for our people," she said with fierce determination. During the battle, she used her strange powers to predict enemy moves, guiding her pilots with perfect precision. Under her command, the Empire's forces pushed back the attackers. But victory came at a cost. The enemy had discovered the location of the void energy orb. They planned to steal it and use its power against the Empire. The boss knew she had to protect the orb at all costs. She called Captain Ryan and her trusted officers. "This power is our greatest strength and our biggest risk," she said. "If it falls into enemy hands, the Empire will fall." Plans were made to hide the orb deep inside the Empire's most secure vault. Guards were doubled and every entrance was watched. Yet even with all precautions, Captain Ryan felt a dark shadow growing inside the Empire. Betrayal. Someone inside the Empire was helping the enemy. The boss grew quiet and serious. "Trust no one fully," she warned. "We are surrounded by enemies, both outside and within." Captain Ryan wondered how she could stay so calm. Her tiny frame hid a powerful mind, fearless and sharp. One night, he overheard her speaking softly to herself. "I will not let them win, not while I breathe." The enemy's spies were closing in. The void energy orb was in danger and the Empire stood on the edge of war. But the boss was ready. Her strange powers, sharp mind, and iron will made her more dangerous than anyone had imagined. And in the quiet of the Empire's capital, one thing was certain. The 3-foot-tall leader was not just deadly. She was unstoppable. Growing threat from the enemy. The Empire had never faced such a quiet storm before. From the shadows, the enemy was growing, stronger, planning their next move carefully. Captain Ryan could feel the tension in the air, thick like smoke before a fire. Every day brought new dangers. Secret messages intercepted, strange ships spotted near the borders, and the feeling that something terrible was coming. The boss watched it all with cold eyes. Her small figure moved quickly between rooms, speaking to officers, studying data, and preparing for what she called the inevitable. "They are not just attacking us," she told Captain Ryan one evening, her voice low but filled with warning. "They are trying to break our spirit, our will." The enemy commander, known only as the Shadow, was clever and ruthless. He sent spies and saboteurs into the Empire's heart, aiming to destroy from within. Rumors spread of dark weapons, strange and powerful, unlike anything the Empire had seen. One night, a secret meeting was held deep underground, where the boss revealed a shocking discovery. The enemy was building a massive weapon, a ship capable of destroying entire planets with a single blast. "If we do not stop them," she said, her voice trembling with anger, "we will lose everything." Captain Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. The Empire had faced powerful enemies before, but this was something new. This weapon could change the fate of the galaxy. The boss did not waste time. She assembled her best team, pilots, spies, engineers, and gave them one mission: infiltrate the enemy's base and destroy the weapon before it could be used. The team was small, but handpicked for skill and loyalty. Captain Ryan was among them. He knew the dangers, but also believed in the boss's plan. "Remember," she told them before they left, "we fight not just for the Empire, but for the future of all free worlds." As they entered enemy space, every second was tense. The enemy's patrols were heavy and traps lay hidden everywhere. The team moved like shadows, silent and deadly. But then, betrayal struck. One of the team members was caught passing secrets to the enemy. The boss's warning about enemies within became real. The traitor's identity shocked everyone, someone Captain Ryan trusted deeply. The betrayal was a blow to the team's spirit. The boss responded swiftly. She tightened security and began her own secret investigation. No one was safe from suspicion. Meanwhile, the enemy weapon's power grew. Reports came of entire moons destroyed, victims of its testing. Fear spread through the Empire's citizens. Captain Ryan saw the boss working harder than ever. Her eyes were tired, but her will never broke. She spent nights in the command center, planning, waiting, watching. Then came the moment of truth. The team managed to reach the enemy base. They planted explosives but were discovered. A fierce battle erupted. Captain Ryan fought beside the boss's soldiers, adrenaline pumping through his veins. Explosions lit the dark sky. The weapon's destruction was within reach, but the enemy commander appeared. The Shadow himself. A cold smile crossed his face as he faced the intruders. "You think you can stop me?" he sneered. "Your tiny leader will fall before my power." The boss stepped forward, her eyes blazing. "Size means nothing," she said. "Only strength of heart and mind." The battle between the boss and the Shadow was fierce. Each move showed their power, the boss's strange abilities against the Shadow's dark technology. In the end, the boss outsmarted him, using her knowledge of the void energy. She disabled the weapon just before it could fire. The team escaped as the base exploded behind them. Back in the Empire, celebrations were short-lived. The boss knew the enemy would return stronger and more dangerous. Captain Ryan admired her courage but worried about the cost. How long can she keep fighting like this, he wondered. The boss looked out at the stars, ready for whatever came next. "As long as I breathe, this empire will stand." The war was far from over. The enemy threat was growing, but so was the boss's power, and the galaxy was about to witness a battle for the ages, led by the smallest but fiercest leader it had ever seen. Betrayal within the Empire. The victory over the enemy's deadly weapon brought relief to the Galactic Empire. But Captain Ryan sensed a darker storm brewing, one not from outside, but from within. The enemy's spies had done their work well, planting seeds of doubt, fear, and betrayal inside the Empire's very heart. The boss, small in size but enormous in strength, was aware of this danger. She had warned her closest officers many times, "Trust no one fully. The greatest threat is the one who smiles in your face while stabbing you in the back." Captain Ryan had always believed in loyalty, but now he had to question everyone, friends, colleagues, even himself. Strange messages, secret meetings and unusual behavior made it clear a traitor was among them. One evening, the boss called a secret meeting with her trusted counsel. Her eyes burned with quiet fury. "Someone here is working for the enemy," she said. "They want to destroy us from the inside. We will find them." The investigation began in silence. No one knew who would be accused next. Tension rose and suspicion poisoned friendships. Captain Ryan felt the pressure. He watched his comrades closely, looking for signs of betrayal. But the traitor was clever, hiding behind smiles and lies. Then came the moment of shock. An encrypted message was intercepted, revealing plans to sabotage a critical space station that supplied the Empire's fleet. The message was signed with a code known only to a few high-ranking officers. The boss's face turned cold. "This is no accident," she said. "We have a wolf in our midst." She ordered a lockdown of the station and set traps to catch the saboteur. Everyone was questioned, but no clear answers came. Days passed with no sign of the traitor, and paranoia spread. Captain Ryan struggled to focus on his duties while wondering who he could trust. One night, a sudden explosion rocked the space station. Alarms blared and chaos erupted. The sabotage had begun. The boss rushed to the scene. Despite her size, she moved with speed and purpose, directing rescue teams and calming frightened workers. Amid the chaos, Captain Ryan discovered a hidden passage leading away from the blast. Following it, he caught a shadowy figure escaping. The figure turned, revealing a familiar face. Lieutenant Maya, a trusted officer and friend. "Why?" Captain Ryan gasped. Maya's eyes were cold. "The Empire is weak," she said. "The enemy offers power. Join us, or be destroyed." "Captain," Ryan felt betrayal like a knife in his heart. He arrested Maya and took her to the boss. The boss listened quietly, but her eyes showed no mercy. "We cannot let one traitor ruin everything," she said. "Her punishment will be swift." But even with Maya caught, Captain Ryan knew the danger was not over. More traitors could be hiding. The boss worked harder than ever, strengthening the Empire's defenses and rooting out corruption. One night, Captain Ryan found her alone, staring at a star map. "How do you stay so strong?" he asked. She smiled, sadly. "Because the Empire is bigger than me. It's every person who believes in a future worth fighting for." But the enemy's attacks did not stop. Their spies grew bolder, their weapons deadlier, and the boss, though small, stood like a mountain, a symbol of hope and power. Captain Ryan knew the Empire's fate rested on her shoulders. The war was no longer just about ships and weapons, but trust, loyalty, and the heart of a true leader. And in the darkness, a new enemy moved closer, ready to strike where it would hurt the most. The final showdown. The Empire was on edge. Every corner of the galaxy seemed to hold danger. Every shadow could hide an enemy. Captain Ryan watched the stars with tired eyes, knowing the greatest battle was about to begin. A fight not just for territory, but for survival itself. The 3-foot-tall boss stood at the center of it all. Her calm face hid a storm of determination. The betrayals, the secret attacks, the enemy's deadly weapon, all led to this moment. "This is it," she told her officers. "The enemy's full force is coming. They want to break us. But we will not break." The battle plans were bold and risky. The boss chose to attack the enemy's main fleet before they could reach the Empire's capital. She trusted her pilots to be swift, her soldiers to be brave, and her mind to be sharper than ever. Captain Ryan felt the weight of the moment. He remembered all they had been through, the doubts, the losses, the secrets. But now, there was no turning back. The sky darkened with enemy ships, lasers fired, explosions lit the void, and the Empire's fleet moved like a wave of iron. The boss sat in the command chair, her small hands steady on the controls. She gave orders calmly, predicting the enemy's moves before they happened. "Divert. Power to shields," she said. "Launch interceptors now." Her voice was steady, but Captain Ryan could see the fire burning inside her eyes. The battle raged for hours. Ships were destroyed. Heroes fell. But the Empire held its ground. Then, the enemy commander, the Shadow, appeared in his massive warship. His dark vessel was the size of a moon, armed with weapons that could wipe out entire fleets. The boss smiled slightly. This was the moment she had prepared for. She activated the void energy orb, feeling its power surge through her veins. Her mind sharpened, her reflexes quickened. She was no longer just a leader. She was a force of nature. "Prepare for the final assault," she ordered. The Empire's ships formed a tight formation, pushing forward toward the Shadow's warship. The Shadow laughed, sending a wave of deadly fire toward them. The Empire's shields shook but did not break. The boss took control of a small fighter ship, piloting it herself. She dodged enemy fire, moving faster than anyone had ever seen. With a powerful burst from the void energy, she broke through the Shadow's defenses and launched a direct attack on his ship's core. The enemy commander's face turned pale with shock. "Impossible," he whispered. Explosions rocked the warship as the core melted down. The Shadow's fleet lost power and began to fall apart. The boss's ship barely escaped the blast. She returned to the command center, exhausted but victorious. The Empire cheered, but the boss knew the battle was only the beginning of a new era. Captain Ryan approached her. "You did it. You saved us all." She looked at him, tired but proud. "We did it, together." But her voice lowered. "The galaxy is full of darkness. As long as there is darkness, we must stand ready." And so, the final showdown ended, in victory. A victory led by the smallest, deadliest leader the galaxy had ever known. But the story was far from over. The Empire's future was bright, but challenges awaited, and the boss, with her strange powers and fierce heart, would face them all. Victory and new beginning. The battle was over, but the war inside the Galactic Empire was far from done. Captain Ryan stood beside the boss, watching the stars twinkle above the capital planet. The victory against the Shadow's fleet had saved the Empire, but the scars ran deep. The boss, only 3 feet tall but mighty beyond measure, carried the weight of every life lost and every future yet to be won. Her eyes held the fire of 1,000 suns, burning with hope and fierce determination. "Victory is not the end," she said quietly to Captain Ryan. "It is a new beginning." The Empire's citizens celebrated, but many wondered what the future held. Enemies still lurked in the dark corners of space. Spies whispered, and old threats waited patiently for their chance. Inside the palace, the boss called a council. Her voice was steady, but her words carried power. "We must rebuild stronger than before. Trust and unity are our greatest weapons." Now, she revealed plans to train new leaders to inspire courage in every corner of the Empire, no matter how small or weak they seemed. "True strength," she said, "comes from the heart and the will to protect what we love." Captain Ryan saw the Empire change. Soldiers became teachers, enemies became allies, and hope grew in every heart. But the boss's greatest challenge was yet to come. One night, while reviewing reports, she received a secret message, a warning from a distant planet. "A new power is rising," it said, "more dangerous than the Shadow. Prepare." Her eyes narrowed. The galaxy was not done testing her, but she was ready. She stood on the balcony, looking out at the endless stars. "This empire will never fall," she whispered. "Not while I stand." Captain Ryan approached. "You've become a legend, small boss. What will you do now?" She smiled, a rare softness in her fierce gaze. "Lead, protect, and remind everyone that no matter their size, they can change the galaxy." The story of the 3-foot-tall leader became a beacon, a symbol of hope, courage, and the truth that power comes in many forms. The Empire was alive, stronger and braver than ever, and its new boss was ready to face whatever came next. Because, in this vast galaxy, it's not the size of the leader that matters, it's the size of their heart, and hers was bigger than the stars themselves.